No, I accept that. Okay, then let's continue on your statement. Yes. Yeah, no, we still need Mapia, so don't close the file, please, or don't put it very far. We are now dealing with the bottom of your page 23 from paragraph 140, and there you address yourself to the question of you're providing comments on the alleged appointments of 55 people into the service by Brigadier Mkhwanazi and the validity of those appointments. That appears at your bottom of page 23. You see that?
Yes, I see this.
And you were invited to comment about the appointment of these 55. And the reason is because Mr. Chief Mapia and Mr. Spies, in the course of their testimony, contended that these appointments are irregular for a number of reasons. One, either they were effected to posts not previously advertised, but most importantly, they were effected by Mr. Mkhwanazi in whatever position he held at the time, without the authorization of the Chief of Police. And that is why your comment is invited on the validity thereof, if you accept, for the moment, that that is the circumstances under which they were effected. And you give a response. Correct?
Correct.
You do so in your paragraphs 140 to 143. And perhaps you may want to summarize what your response is.
Okay. As I indicated in terms of the systems of delegations, these recruitments do not form part of my scope or authority as an accounting officer. These are junior officials, the 155 that were appointed. And I think we have addressed this in terms of Annexure IM6, where the chief wrote to me about his unhappiness about this appointment. Can we go to IM6?
IM6 is your annexure file.
Annexure file.
Perhaps, let me just interrupt you. IM6, as we have it, is actually the list of questions.
Oh,
that way.
List of
yes.
questions. The letter, can you assist me?
I shall. So your IM6 and your reference thereto, you say that I note from Annexure IM6 that I am invited to comment on the validity of this recruitment and promotions.
Yes.
Yes. And you conclude, you continue and say, this would not be fair as I was not involved in the process and my knowledge is limited to what I have read in the media and the questionable evidence provided by Chief Mapia. That's what you state.
Correct, yes.
Why do you call it questionable evidence?
Sorry, can I help you?
Yes.
Page 52 of Mapia's annexures.
Yes. I'm going to JM 8 and 9 thereafter. Thank you, Commissioner. We'll get to the page that the Commissioner is referencing. On your paragraph 143, with regard to Chief Mapia's evidence, you term it questionable evidence provided by Chief Mapia. Out of interest, why do you call it questionable? And particularly on this score, why do you consider it questionable? Leave aside everything else he testified to, but about these appointments.
Remember, at the point where we wrote this particular statement, we did not have a letter that Chief Mapia actually complained about the positions. So can I request that we go to his letter so that I am able to address you properly?
Okay, no, I'm happy to. And I take it by going to his letter, you are then able to explain why you call his evidence questionable.
Okay.
It's not okay, it's a question, Dr. Mkhwanazi. Yeah? Will you be able then to answer? the question?
I will be able to
Okay.
answer after.
Then, perhaps the best starting point is, let's start with Chief Mapie's own statement. Chief Mapie's statement, and we will work our way to the document that you want. I'm trying. So if you could lay your hands on the statement.
My statement
Chief
or his
Mapie's
statement.
statement, and to go to page 10, please.
Page
10, 10. And I want to draw your attention in particular to paragraph 32. Do you see where, have you located it? And that is where Chief Mapie introduces this issue of the appointment of the 55. And he states that these appointments and or promotions were effected without his involvement as the Chief of Police. Do you see that in the paragraph?
Yes,
And then
I
he
see.
describes, he touches on some of the flaws attaching to those appointments, and the fact that the last sentence in that paragraph, the appointments were in large part drawn from members of the unit which Brigadier Mkhwanazi headed. See where I'm reading?
Yes.
Now, if you turn over leaf to paragraph 31 at page 11, he then states, I lodged my objections formally with the city manager on 5th June 2024, pointing out that the appointments by Brigadier Mkhwanazi are invalid. A copy of this objection is marked JM8. So now we go to Mapie's annexure bundle and we locate JM8, which you will find at page 51.
Page?
51. And that is the letter from Chief Mapie, dated the 5th of June 2024, and it is addressed to you, Dr. I.M. Mashazi, City Manager, City of Ekurhuleni. You see that?
Correct.
He raises some issues there, but in particular, I would like to draw your attention to paragraph 3, that starts with the words, what is sought. Do you see where I'm reading?
Correct, I do.
And he states, for that purpose, and I quote, what is sought is to bring to your attention, City Manager, as the accounting officer, to the recent promotional positions which took place within the department of Brigadier, Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Superintendents, and Inspectors, respectively. He continues, next paragraph, it is legislated under Section 64C 2B of the Subs Act 68, 1995, and common practice that when employees are promoted in the department, as the municipal commissioner must confer the promotional ranks to the successful / promoted workforce. Next paragraph, he says, to my dismay and surprise, observed on the 4th of June 2024, members of the department wearing their promotional ranks. When probing, I was informed that they were conferred by the Deputy Commissioner. That is the letter you acknowledge receipt of.
Correct.
On the 5th of June. And at his paragraph 34, he does state that the city manager responded to my letter, this very one we just went through, on the 6th of June. And that letter he annexes as JM9. That now should start at your page 52. And I think that is the letter you wanted to get to and speak to in some detail.
Correct.
This is the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, thank you very much. In relation to this appointment, at the point of us writing the statement, we do not have this evidence. As I indicated that I left the city in July, you cannot recall everything that really happened in 2024. I think the Commission will agree with me. Yes, he wrote a letter to me and I responded, and I'm going to talk to the content of the letter. I have responded to Chief Mapie on the 5th of June 2024. On the 6th of June 2024, he wrote to me on the 5th, and I immediately responded that I confirmed that they had a meeting with HR, and I also noted his reference to Section 64C2B, and I fully agree with him that it is within his powers during such appointments that he must be consulted. My comment, it is about the Subs-Act 64C, read together with the Municipal Systems Act and also read together with the systems of delegations, that certain positions, especially junior positions, are actually delegated to his subordinates. But what is of concern is that the Chief of Police was never consulted, because in terms of the legislation, he was supposed to be consulted irrespective of the level of the position or promotional positions that were being filled. The issue that they do not qualify, well, it is an HR issue, and I think Gashega must talk to it. I even indicated to Chief in terms of this letter that it is unfortunate that the EMPD has a peculiar arrangement in terms of the SEPS Act. And that Act, it is actually not well integrated with our Municipal Systems Act as well as the Systems Act. And I indicated there in my last paragraph that I therefore thank of a policy that can actually assist us to address such matters. From my part, I commit to also engaging the Deputy Chief of Police, Mkhwanazi, and other staff members to ensure that the position and authority of senior managers is respected at all times. Because the gist of the matter in this, the Chief of Police was never consulted in terms of his letter. He was never consulted by Mkhwanazi. He was on duty Chief of Police. Mkhwanazi was not acting, and he went ahead to appoint these officials. And the Act is very clear that it must be in consultation with him, irrespective of the systems of delegation. That's why it is important for us to have a policy that will actually assist us to actually clear some of the challenges and the grey areas when dealing with municipal processes in line with the SEPS Act. That is the content of my response to Chief of Police.
Thank you for that. My first question, I guess, is you insist that the SUBS Act, and I take it that reference to the SUBS Act specifically is reference to Section 64C of the SUBS Act. Did I understand you correctly that you suggest that section or the Act itself requires that the Chief of Police be consulted prior to appointment being made? Because if that is what you are suggesting, even before you answer, I'm telling you are wrong. Because Section 64C bestows the power to appoint on the Chief of Police himself. It says absolutely nothing about the requirement by anybody to confer with him or consult him before that person effects appointment. Do you have a response to that?
Yeah, my argument is that SEPS Act, in terms of our processes, municipal processes, must be read in conjunction with the Municipal Systems Act as well as the systems of delegations. And I have actually submitted, and we've gone through the systems of delegations where it indicates that the level of appointment and the level of authority in terms of the department. I've indicated yesterday that Chief of Police is appointed under the Municipal Systems Act, and in as much as we do not want to undermine the SEPS Act, we need to integrate the two. Hence, my suggestion to Chief of Police is please provide us with a policy to assist us that we do not overstep your mandate in terms of our processes as a municipality, as a sphere of government, as well as the SEPS Act.
Oh, okay. So, based on the clarification you have just provided, I should accept that your reference to Section 64C as requiring consultation with the chief of police is a mistake. You did not intend to refer to that particular section. You wanted to refer to the Systems Act for that purpose. Would I be correct to understand that?
I'm referring to both legislations, that both legislations, in terms of our processes, they are not well integrated. Hence, we need a policy to bridge a gap. Remember, the SAPS Act allows chiefs to appoint from you can imagine how many officers are appointed. Hence, there is a Systems Act in terms of our protocol as a municipality to ensure that the chief of police is not occupied by sitting in interviews of junior officials while there are other pressing matters that he's supposed to do. Likewise, other HODs. This is not only applicable to chief of police. Hence, in my last paragraph, I requested him, because their situation is very peculiar, I requested him to come up with a policy to assist us, to especially assist the Systems Act as well as the systems of delegation, so to say, because the Act is an act of parliament. It cannot be interpreted or be changed by the chief of police. Yes. We can only participate when an act of parliament is amended.
And in fact, my comment was favorable to you, because I was saying I had taken issue with what I understood to be your interpretation of Section 64C of the SAPS Act, suggesting that there is a requirement that somebody can effect appointments. They need only consult with the chief of police. That's what I'd understood. So based on your explanation, I say the error you made was you didn't mean to refer to Section 64 to make that point. You intended to refer to the Systems Act.
Correct.
Okay. I just didn't want to leave it that way on the record.
Can I just
Yes,
can I just understand the SAPS Act gives the chief of police the power to appoint and make promotions. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are you saying that that power of the chief of police in Ekurhuleni was taken from him by way of your delegation of authorities? You removed that power from him and gave it to, say, in this case, it was given to a position in which Brigadier Mkhwanazi is to appoint junior people. Am I understanding that evidence correctly?
That is the understanding of our municipal systems of delegations.
Yes. So you're saying to me, I'm just wanting to make sure there's no trick to it. I just want to make sure that I understand your evidence.
Correct.
Your evidence is that a power given by the SAPS Act was taken through your delegation systems and given to a Brigadier Mkhwanazi kind of position to appoint junior people. I'm correct to understand you that way?
I've indicated from the beginning that we have this SAPS Act, which is peculiar and which we acknowledge, and we also have Municipal Systems Act. I've also indicated the autonomy of the of any municipality or of local government. I've also added the fact that any municipality would have systems of delegations which they approve. So the approval of the systems of delegations needs to be implemented, because these are delegations that are approved by a municipal council, a council that has both appointed me and chief. Maybe I think, as I indicated, that it's an area that needs to be addressed in terms of the two legislation, its applicability in the municipality, looking into the powers that are vested within the Municipal Systems Act.
I think my question is really as simple as this. The SAPS Act gives the Chief of Police certain powers, and those powers include appointment. Sorry, Dr. Mkhwanazi, if you would just look this way so that I see that you're paying attention, please.
I have a backache, ma'am. My back.
Yeah, I just need your face facing me so that I know I'm speaking to you. So what I'm asking is the SAPS Act, and I just want to make sure that you and I understand you correctly. The SAPS Act gives the Chief of Police powers to appoint and to promote. I think there's no controversy there. I think that's your testimony. You accept that's what he does. And what I'm checking is you are saying that power, which is binding on the municipality, right? That power in the SAPS Act, you're saying the municipality, in fact, took it through its powers of delegation system. It exercised its authority to delegate functions, and in doing so, it took that power in the SAPS Act and gave it to a Brigadier Mkhwanazi position to appoint juniors.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Chief Mapieye, on his statement, you don't have to go there in dealing with this very response you gave to his letter, JM9. He concludes, I'll read it into the record for you at paragraph 34. He concludes that the effect of this letter you wrote is that you lent support to Brigadier Mkhwanazi's conduct of making appointments without my approval and or at times my knowledge. He says that's the sum effect of your letter. You are lending your approval to Brigadier Mkhwanazi's conduct as he complained of making these appointments without his, Chief Mapiye's approval and or at times his knowledge. Is that a fair assessment of your letter by Chief Mapieye? That technically you lent support to Brigadier Mkhwanazi's conduct in the appointment of these 55?
The content of my letter, it is in relation with the powers within the delegation, the systems of delegation. And I relied on the systems of delegation. Hence, through yesterday's testimony, I continuously refer to both legislation as well as the systems of delegation. So I think it's an area that Council must look into and ensure that both legislations are integrated. And I can no longer comment on this. I think I have ventilated everything in terms of my understanding about the systems of delegations as well as the powers of the Chief of Police in terms of the SAPS Act and as well as the Systems Act.
But what you're addressing right now is your justification for doing so. And I do accept that you base it on your understanding of the legal position at the time. I don't quibble with that. Whether or not your understanding was right or wrong, that's not the debate we are having. And I know you've addressed that issue, and you just did now again. I'm saying Chief Mapieye says, on the reading of your response, when you respond to his complaint that Mkhwanazi effected 55 illegal appointments, the interpretation and sum total of your response is to lend support to Brigadier Mkhwanazi's conduct. That's Chief Mapiye's interpretation. And my question to you is he being fair to you to understand your letter that way? Did you lend support or did you object to those appointments as effected by Brigadier Mkhwanazi?
The 55 positions are actually under review as we speak, and I will...
So sorry, I missed that you spoke softly.
The 55 positions, as we speak, they are under review by the municipality.
May I stop you, Dr. Mkhwanazi? It's because you are telling me about others. I'm asking about you. Can we confine ourselves to the issue? I'm giving you an opportunity to say whether or not Chief Mapieye is being fair to you to say technically you supported Brigadier Mkhwanazi. And I'm posing a direct question to you. Did you support Brigadier Mkhwanazi in this conduct or not? So don't tell me about a review that's currently undergoing in an environment that you are no longer a part of. Would you like to comment on that?
I commented by saying my letter to Chief Mapieye was based on the systems of delegation. And I do not want to comment whether he makes an assumption that I was in support or not. And I therefore want to close by saying that I do not have a comment over his assessment. that I supported or not supported. But looking at the process, that he was not consulted as well as an HOD responsible for appointing in terms of the Act, but looking at the systems of delegations that empowers a lower level to him to do the appointment. The legality of whether people qualified and whatever, well, it is unfortunate and it will be irregular if that is the case, that some of the people that were appointed did not qualify or the appointments were irregular.
Okay.
Sorry, Advocate.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Mkhwanazi, it seems to me then that we don't need to have a long debate on this issue, because even on your construction, the mere fact that he did not consult, I'm not suggesting that your construction is correct. I'm simply saying even on your construction, the fact that he did not consult the chief of police means he did something wrong. But now this letter appears to suggest that you didn't take action against him and therefore you lent support to whatever wrong that he did. And you can either say yes or no. Either you lended support or you did not.
I did not lend support to his appointment. In my letter is clear, and thank you very much for reminding me about my letter. It's clear that he did not consult the chief of police, and he was reprimanded that he must respect the authority. The chief of police is the HOD of the department. So the assertion that I supported him, I cannot agree that I supported him in view of the letter that I have written, and I thought I have answered the question. And okay, let me stop there.
Thank you, Commissioner Khumalo. I understand your response. My question is, you say you don't lend support, you accept on a different basis that the appointments were invalid because he did not consult the chief of police.
Agreed.
Did you direct that they being invalid in law be reversed? Did you ensure that that process takes place? Because I'm sure you will not support the continuation in office of illegally appointed people. What action did you take, or what steps did you take to satisfy yourself as city manager that that illegal act was reversed?
Nothing.
Why not?
I don't recall whether I did something or nothing.
No, you've said nothing already. So you don't recall. What don't you recall?
I meant to say I do not recall. I withdraw nothing. I do not recall.
You don't recall what, Dr. Mkhwanazi? Whether you did anything about it or not?
Exactly.